क्या क्या करना पड़ता है यार सोशियो पॉलिटिकल अवेयरनेस के नाम पे।
Nice.
Hello and welcome to Peenis Extremis. In today's video, we'll be ending global poverty. This is not a clickbait. We'll be truly ending global poverty. And if I fumble, I'll be removing an article of clothing. That is why I've been sitting here all packed up like a cute little textile me. Also, if you like this video, please let me know and please share this video. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe कर देना. If you're watching this on Instagram, put this in your story.
तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं.
Imagine you are running a developing country और आपको UN की तरफ से $10 million का aid मिला है to eradicate malaria from your country. What would you do? Your advisors would tell you कि सबसे cheapest तरीका होगा to get mosquito nets and distribute them among the people. Okay, great. But then there would be two scenarios. Should you give the पर यहाँ दो क्वेश्चंस राइज होते हैं. Would you give the nets for free or should you ask people to pay the full price for the nets? Okay, let's look at it. Let's give the nets for free. But then people won't be using it for mosquitoes but will be using it as fishing nets. Right? क्योंकि मुफ्त चीजों की तो अहमियत होती नहीं है mainly. So what should we do? Let's give them at a full price. But considering your poor population, would people be giving away their daily income for just mosquito nets? No, right? So then let's do one thing. Let's give them at a subsidized rate, right? But then, if you give them at subsidized rate, there would be other loopholes too. So how do we solve the problem? 2019 Nobel laureates and husband and wife duo Abhijit Banerjee and Esther Duflo proposed a very simple solution for the problems. Randomized controlled trials or RCTs. What are RCTs? आप देख रहे होंगे कि वैक्सीन डेवलपमेंट के लिए the tests are done in phases. First, a limited number of people are given the vaccine. If it passes those tests, a dozen of people are given the vaccine. If they pass the test, the vaccine is given to hundreds or even thousands of people. This is how it works in the medical industry. RCTs are basically the same thing done in policy making. So let's come back to our malaria problem. You have three scenarios. So what do? You take in a group of 100 families each, three groups of 100 families each. You give 100 of them the nets for free, 100 of them at a subsidized rate, and 100 of them at the full price. You wait for some time and then you see which class reports. You wait for some months and then see which class reports the least malaria cases. You do this experiment for a few more times, supposedly for 1500 families, that is 5 sets of these experiments. Which classes consistently reported least number of malaria cases? Supposedly, in your country, people who got the nets at a subsidized price reported lower cases of malaria. Then you have a better idea that if the nets are given out at a subsidized price, it would help you solve the problem of malaria in your country. A similar experiment was done in Kenya, and there was no difference between the number of malaria cases reported among the classes, but there was one significant difference among the different classes. People who got the nets for free were more likely to buy it for the second time around compared to the people who got it at a subsidized rate or people who paid the full price for the nets. But this one thing about RCTs is it may show different results in different countries or even in different states of the same country. I would like to introduce you to a concept called poverty trap. बड़ा easy सा concept है. Okay, so what does it mean to be stuck in a poverty trap? अगर आपकी future income आपकी current income से कम है, तो that means you are stuck in a poverty trap. Millions or even billions of people are stuck in poverty traps across the world. How can they come out of it? We use our newfound knowledge of RCTs. As per RCTs in 19 countries, including India, the main reason for people getting stuck in poverty traps is the lack of health and hygiene in an early age or the lack of education in an early age. अगर प्रेग्नेंट औरतों को आयोडीन और आयरन की सप्लीमेंट्स दी जाए तो it ensures that the child's income in the future increases by more than $80 per year, and that can actually get them out of poverty. Education की तरफ आते हैं. If you want to get out of poverty trap, you need to learn for higher number of years. Basically, income is directly proportional to the years spent getting educated, at least in the underdeveloped countries. Many kids drop out of elementary school or middle school. How could you get kids to stay in school more for every $100 spent on a certain policy? हम यूज करते हैं RCTs का. RCT से ये पता चलता है कि अगर हम टीचर्स की सैलरी बढ़ाए या फिर बच्चों को स्कूल में मील्स प्रोवाइड करे या फिर उन्हें स्कॉलरशिप दे तो इट एंश्योर्स अप टू 1 to 3 years of kids staying in the education system. For every $100 spent on iron supplements, you ensure almost 3.5 years of extra schooling for students. Now get ready to get your minds blown. अगर आप $100 spend करें to treat intestinal worms among school children, they will take 29 years of extra education. And if you spend $100 on explaining them the positive impact of education on their future, you make them take in 40 years of extra education on an average, just for $100 spent. Think about that. The only reason we have got this data is through the use of RCTs. If this model is applied to a country like India, in ideating and executing social policies, we will do amazing stuff. The only thing needed is investment in experiments like these, which are worth every single penny. It is necessary that we set out a limited budget so that we would make better policies in the future. Although this is not going to be instantaneous, it would actually be achievable in our lifetimes. Thank you for watching today's episode of Penis Extremis. I would highly recommend you to read Poor Economics by Esther Duflo and Abhijit Banerjee if you are interested in that kind of stuff. And as always, be a good citizen because Donald says so. Cameraman Chagan के साथ मैं Penis Extremis with Penis Extremis for Penis Extremis. Penis Extremis.